Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to listen to this short talk which I am going to deliver. My focus today is to address one of the issues which we face very common in our life. It is nothing but how to succeed in life, how one can become successful or achieve something one is aiming for. I would like to take some of the points given by Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It was published in the year 1998, where he beautifully highlights 7 habits which make one successful. In prelude to his book, he writes about 3 important maturity continuum, where he speaks about how one can proceed in his life, or what are the stages or 3 stages of growth one see. And I would like to start with this maturity continuum in order to highlight the 7 habits which is going to be followed immediately after that. The first thing in maturity continuum is dependence, a stage of dependency, we can say, where I need the other. I need the help of the other. Look at a baby who is born cannot live on his or her own because he or she requires the help of the other. And early childhood days, definitely children require the help of the other. That means it is a period where we are totally depending on other. We need the help of the other. We need the guidance of the other. We need the support of the other. And that is a stage we call it as a dependent stage. The second stage is independent stage, a period of independence, where a person moves towards a kind of freedom which we speak about. What kind of freedom it is? Oh, I can do everything by myself. I am able to take decision for my life. I don't require the help of the other. Here, the basic concept is I become the center of life. I manage myself. I can do things. I can attain what I am thinking about. I can accomplish something. I take decision for my life. And here one wants to be independent of the restrictions placed before them by the parents, the teachers or elders. And that is the stage we call it as the independent stage. And the third stage, this independent stage, one thing we need to notice is that normally the teenagers and early youth normally fall in this category of independent stage, a kind of independence from the other. The third stage is that of interdependence. Here the watchword is we. That means we are able to do. We as a team, we are able to accomplish. And this interdependent stage is essential for succeeding in life, to become a good team leader, to be part of a team, to have a successful marriage life, or to live a happy family life. All these things, the interdependent stages. And coming to the next part of my talk, that is about what are the 7 habits of highly effective people, highly successful people. And I feel that Stephen Covey has very beautifully highlighted in his book 7 habits. I feel it can be implemented in our own life and when we make decisions. And there are 7 habits, out of which 3 habits are basically falling into the first 2 stages of maturity continuum. The first 2 stages, the dependent stage and independent stage. The rest of 4 habits are into interdependent stage. Let's go on with these 7 habits. The first habit he speaks about is being proactive. That is taking responsibility for the action which we do, analyzing a particular situation, and finding out solutions for what one can do. Being an active stage. Here one need to be aware of the context in which one lives, and one needs to be aware of and the circle of concern one is having, and one needs to be aware of a kind of a need to take the active role in a particular context or the situations, or in this particular as well. One cannot be simply take a reactive mode. waiting for problem to happen in order to seek solution for the problem. We need to be really active. That is the meaning of being proactive. The second stage is begin with the end in mind. That is the vision or the goal, objective one needs to have in life. We can say that a person who has got a real vision, a person who has got a real objective in life, they know exactly where they want to go, where they want to reach, where they want to land up after 10 or 15 or 20 years, And for that one, we need to always keep in mind, begin with end in mind. Have a vision, and from that vision, plan backward and reach the first step. And always remember that to succeed in one's life, always need to have this vision and need to have a mission that will fulfill the vision we are having. Simply to put it, to envision oneself to accomplish something. Begin with the end in life. The third habit is put things first. That is, simply we can say that prioritize. What are the priorities in my life? And here Stephen Covey uses a kind of matrix of importance, and he along with Eisenhower developed this particular concept, and which will help us to understand how we need to prioritize, how we need to put the first thing first. And he divides this entire matrix into 4 quadrants. The first quadrant speaks about most urgent and most important thing. What does it mean? That is, when we want to do something, we need to analyze the particular thing which we are going to do is very urgently or very immediately to be done, or it is important to be done. If we feel that is something to be urgent and we feel that it is very important, we have to go and do it. So we can say that the first quadrant, simply do. Most urgent and most important. The second quadrant Stephen Covey speaks about is not urgent but important. In this particular things, we know that a particular thing need not be done urgently or immediately, but it is important to accomplish the aim or the vision we have in our life, and that requires a kind of a long-term planning. It is simply we can put this quadrant as a plan. The third quadrant is urgent and not so important. We know that in our life, something to be done, it is urgent to be done, but it is not so important for me to accomplish my plan. So what we need to do in this particular context, use the other side. We can simply say that delegate. The last thing is the last quadrant, the quadrant 4 is not urgent and not important. Here whatever we are going to do is that not urgent, and it has no role to play in our vision, no role to play in what we are doing. So this simply we can name it as frivolous distractions we have in our life. So it is very clearly focused. Once again I want to repeat this. Quadrant 1, it is urgent and important. Quadrant 2, not urgent but important. Quadrant 3 is urgent but not very important, and quadrant 4 is not urgent, not important. So simply we can say first one is do it immediately, second thing plan well, third thing delegate, fourth one is eliminate frivolous reactions of frivolous distractions, and that is the third habit is all about. Then the fourth habit is think win-win. And in order to become highly effective, definitely we need to also take into consideration this fourth habit, think win-win. What does it mean? It is nothing but a kind of genuine feelings for mutually beneficial solutions. In this context, we can simply say that in a company or an organization, when we also need to give, it is not only I who benefit out of it, the other also will benefit out. A kind of win-win situations. It is not merely being nice to other person. It is not a kind of a quick fix technique. But here what we are looking, it is also benefiting the other. It is a character-based code for human interaction and collaboration. Character-based code for human interaction and collaboration. Here mutually benefit. not being alone nice, or not be a kind of a quick fix technique, but each benefit from the other. Think win-win situations. The fifth habit is see first to understand rather than to be understood. Here, what we need to practice in our life is that a kind of empathetic attitude we have towards the other, readiness to listen to other, give a kind of hearing opportunity for the other, especially those who are involved in our organization or institution or in our friends circle. Here we definitely benefit out of it. It is based on, actually speaking, a kind of three Greek words or Greek philosophy. Can say that one is ethos, pathos, and logos. Now, what happened? What is this ethos mean? Ethos is nothing but a kind of genuine credibility we have. Definitely, when somebody comes and talks to us, they check whether this person can be trusted or not. It is nothing but a trustworthy attitude. A person has got a genuine credibility or not. The second thing is that a kind of it is pathos. That is a kind of empathetic side. And here, what matters is how we are able to listen to the other person, a kind of emotional bond we create between the other person who is the other side. And the third thing in the Greek philosophy, that is logos. That is nothing but how logical we are in our reasoning. So I feel that in this, or the process of understanding the other, definitely we need to have our own genuine credibility, that I call it as ethos, and pathos, where how we are able to establish a kind of relationship with the other, empathetic listening attitude and relationship. Third thing is that logos, where we are able to put matters in a very logical and reasonable manner. And this is a fifth habit for highly effective people. Then the sixth habit is synergize. We know that we are able to accomplish when we are able to put things together, put the ideas of the other. We need to have a collaborative team spirit in our approach when we are in an institution or organization, or if we want to succeed. We need to listen to other people, analyze their idea, and combined effect is better than the sum of their separate effect. That means always combined effort plays a major role and take an important role than individually thinking alone. That is the meaning of synergize. Bring together, put together the ideas, the thoughts and the plans other people have. Bring together, analyze and put it for the betterment or to succeed. The last thing is that sharpen the saw. That is a kind of spiral upward growth. Sharpen the saw. I would like to conclude once again, recalling to our mind these 7 habits for highly effective people. First one is be proactive. Second one is begin with end in mind. That is vision. Third thing is put things first. Fourth thing is think win-win. And fifth one is see first to understand rather than to be understood. Sixth thing, synergize. And seventh thing, sharpen the saw. A spiral upward growth by utilizing all those things around us for our own betterment and for increasing our efficiency and profitability.